up in Phoenix, Arizona is pretty dead. There's no interest without Caitlin Clark around. We got to break this thing down, man. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video as always. Let's get right into it. The two rival squads are set to meet 3 times this season. This is not a rivalry. This is literally a beatdown. Every time the Indiana Fever sees Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, they've won 1 game in 2 years out of like 9 matchups. This is not a rivalry. This is nothing more than someone who has found a way. Celebrations. The Sky announced their theme game lineup in an Instagram post. Our 2026 theme games are here. Okay, here it says the Sky's slate features several notable themes this year. Pride, Women's Cancer Awareness, Marvel Superhero Day are among the highlights. They have clearly canceled Barbie Night. Angel Reese is no longer.
You want the truth, the real, unfiltered, behind-the-scenes truth about what is actually happening inside the WNBA right now, because what I am about to tell you is not just drama. It is a full-scale war between money, loyalty, and pride, and the casualties are piling up fast. Picture this. You are Angel Reese. You walk into Chicago as a rookie, carrying an entire franchise on your back. You did not just show up to play basketball. You showed up and completely resurrected a team that nobody was watching, nobody was talking about, and honestly, nobody cared about. You brought electricity. You brought attitude. You brought a fan base that had never felt that kind of energy before. The city fell in love with you. And then one morning, you wake up and find out that your own ownership group, the very people who are supposed to have your back, have been quietly rolling out the red carpet for your biggest rival. Not a teammate, not a business partner, your rival. And here is the part that will make your stomach turn. They did not even try to hide it. This is not a rumor. This is not speculation. This is the cold, calculated decision of a front office that looked at its own star player and decided that one night of Caitlin Clark ticket money was worth more than everything Angel Reese has poured into that organization. And that decision just cracked the foundation of an entire franchise. Let me take you back to the beginning because context matters here. When Angel Reese came out of LSU, she was not just a basketball prospect. She was a phenomenon. The Bayou Barbie had already conquered college basketball, survived a media storm that would have broken most people twice her age, and walked into the professional ranks with more eyes on her than any WNBA rookie in recent memory. She gave Chicago something they desperately needed: a face, a story, a reason to buy a ticket on a Wednesday night in the middle of summer. She fought for every rebound. She absorbed every hit. She read every cruel comment and turned it into motivation. That is not just an athlete. That is a warrior. And warriors deserve loyalty from the people they fight for. But loyalty, it turns out, has a price tag in this league. And the Chicago Sky ownership found out exactly what that number was the moment they looked at a Caitlin Clark road game revenue report. Because here is something that everyone in the sports world knows, but very few people actually say out loud. The Caitlin Clark effect is genuinely unprecedented. When Indiana travels to your city, it does not just feel like a basketball game anymore. It feels like a concert. It feels like an event. Secondary market ticket prices do not just go up, they explode. Arenas that were half empty 2 seasons ago are suddenly turning fans away at the door. The merchandise lines stretch around the building before warm-ups even start. We have never seen anything like this in the history of women's sports, and the numbers back that up completely. So when the Chicago Sky front office sat down in their conference room and started planning the upcoming season, they saw something on that spreadsheet that made their eyes go wide. 3 home games against Indiana, 3 chances to pack the United Center to the ceiling and print money. And they decided quietly and deliberately to build special accommodations around those matchups. VIP treatment, ticket pushes, Arena upgrades specifically designed to maximize the Caitlin Clark crowd experience, not the Angel Reese experience, not the Chicago Sky experience, the Caitlin Clark experience in Angel Reese's own building. And if that were not enough, they quietly canceled Barbie Night, the theme night that was built around Angel's brand, her identity, her connection to the fan base that loves her. Just gone, replaced with other promotions, other themes, other priorities. You have to sit with that for a second. They canceled the night that was literally created to celebrate their own player, while simultaneously designing special events around the opponent she has been battling since college. That is not just bad management. That is a message. And locker rooms hear those messages loud and clear. Now, I want you to think about what that does to a player psychologically. Angel Reese has been dealing with unfair media scrutiny since the moment she stepped into the national spotlight. She has had her talent questioned, her character attacked, and her motives twisted by people who never spent 5 minutes watching her actually work. And through every single bit of that noise, she showed up. She played hard. She represented Chicago with everything she had. She trusted the organization. And now she has learned that the organization does not trust her back, at least not enough to put her first in her own arena. That kind of betrayal does not stay in the front office. It bleeds into the locker room. It affects how teammates talk to each other, how coaches communicate, how the whole culture of a team feels on a daily basis. You cannot demand sacrifice and hustle from your players while your ownership group is quietly auctioning off their dignity to the highest bidder. It simply does not work that way. But here is where the story gets even bigger, because while Chicago was busy selling out their star for short-term cash, something completely different was happening on the national stage. And it was somehow even more tone-deaf. When the roster for Team USA heading into the Paris Olympics was being assembled, the selection committee had a decision in front of them that seemed, to most rational people, completely obvious. Caitlin Clark was the most talked about, most watched, most followed female basketball player on the planet. She had single-handedly dragged millions of new fans into the sport. Ratings for her games were shattering records. Her jersey was everywhere. Her highlights were everywhere. She was the story. And the committee looked at all of that, looked at the Olympic stage, and said, no thank you. They left her home. And the reasons they gave to the public were so thin, so transparently political, that it was almost insulting to listen to. Roster fit, veteran leadership, the international game being different. That last one especially, because anyone who watched Clark dissect professional defenses as a rookie understood that the physical argument was completely hollow. This was not about basketball. This was about hierarchy. The veterans who had built this program, who had played in front of sparse crowds for years, who had sacrificed through the lean times, did not want to hand the biggest spotlight in their careers to a rookie. They wanted to protect the pecking order. They believed that the Team USA brand was powerful enough to carry the audience regardless of who was on the roster. They believed wrong. The moment that Olympic camp opened without Caitlin Clark, something extraordinary happened. The fans who had just discovered women's basketball over the past 2 years, the millions of casual viewers who tuned in specifically because of her, they simply checked out. The exhibition game viewership numbers were not just disappointing. They were historically bad, the kind of numbers that make network executives call emergency meetings, the kind of numbers that get used in case studies about how not to manage a rising sports property. The selection committee had assumed fan loyalty to the brand. What they got instead was a masterclass in how modern sports audiences actually work. People today do not follow leagues. They follow personalities. They follow stories. They follow the player who makes them feel something. And when you remove that player from the equation, they do not suddenly redirect their passion to someone else. They just leave. They turn off the TV and find something else to watch. and they do not feel guilty about it for even a second. The irony is brutal. The very same veterans who wanted to protect women's basketball from being hijacked by one player's narrative ended up doing far more damage to the sport's momentum than any roster controversy ever could have. They sacrificed a global audience, a generational marketing opportunity, and a staggering amount of broadcast revenue, all to teach a rookie a lesson about waiting her turn. And the lesson that actually got taught went in the complete opposite direction. What the world learned was simple. Remove Caitlin Clark from the equation and the casual audience evaporates. That is not a criticism of any other player's talent or work ethic. It is just the reality of how star power functions in modern sports. You build around it. You do not suppress it. So here we are, two massive organizations, two completely different strategies, one identical result. Failure. Chicago chose greed and fractured their locker room. Team USA chose ego and lost their audience. And sitting in the middle of all of this are two players who have become the twin engines of an entire cultural movement without even trying to. Angel Reese is going to remember this. She is going to remember exactly how her front office valued her when the moment of truth arrived. And if you have watched her play even once, you already know what she does with disrespect. She uses it. She stores it somewhere deep. And then she releases it every time she steps between those lines. The chip on her shoulder is not a burden. It is a weapon. And Caitlin Clark is not going anywhere either. She is going to keep pushing the boundaries of what is possible in this league until the people running it have no choice but to rebuild everything around what she represents. This sport is changing at a speed that the establishment is completely unprepared for. The money is different. The audiences are different. The cultural weight of these players is different. And the old playbook, the one built on hierarchy and control and protecting institutional power, that playbook is turning to ash in real time. The fans are the ones writing the new rules now. Every ticket they buy, every game they stream, every highlight they share is a vote for what this league becomes next. And based on everything happening right now, the message from the fans could not be louder or clearer. Give us the real story. Give us the real stars. And stop getting in the way of something special,